Hey guys, DizzyPW here with MMOHuts. We're at the Razer booth talking to a legend in the MMO industry. If you don't know who this guy is, you're probably a young little whippersnapper who doesn't know about the true golden era of MMO games. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience and tell us about what your current project is and how exciting it is?
All right, absolutely. So my mundane name is Richard Garriott. A lot of you may know me as Lord British, and I created a little series of games through the 80s and 90s called Ultima, and importantly for MMOHuts, Ultima Online, which I produced with Starr, who's just off camera over here, who was my business partner in creating what's really arguably the first massively multiplayer game ever. And through that Ultima series, we invented things like, well, the genre, plus the term avatar and a lot of other tropes that are pretty standard now in gaming. But we're now here working together again, creating Shroud of the Avatar. Shroud of the Avatar is sort of our homage to the things we've done over our last 25 to 40 years working together. And so we think it's sort of bringing back a lot of those things we did in the golden era that we think have been untouched for some strange reason over the last decade. And so you'll find that Shroud of the Avatar is on one hand bringing back a lot of the deep Sandbox nostalgia that has been overlooked for so long, but also we think we're doing a lot of new features to really deepen it even more than Ultima Online had done some years ago.
So give our audience a little bit of an overview on those features.
Yeah, so one of the things that I think separated our work and Ultimas in general away from other role-playing games was the fact that if you think of, say, well, almost any other role-playing game, and especially any other MMO, your character is first and foremost a combatant. And while you might have some crafting skills on the side, everyone fights and has a hobby of crafting of one type or another. In our games, in Shroud of the Avatar, there are people who have an entire rich life that never involves combat. So if you are a miner or a blacksmith or a bartender, we've made a very, very deep game that lets people really role play a complete life outside of the combat system. But even you go back and look at the combat system, one of the, maybe a good way to describe it is to say, here's my short description of most role-playing games, including a lot of features we helped develop. You spend about an hour creating your character before you know if the game's fun at all. You then get dropped into a beautiful medieval or whatever the setting village is. You see the weapon shop and the magic shop. You see exclamation points over the person's head you got to talk to. You click on their text bubbles till they all go away because you're not really paying attention, because all that matters is what goes in the quest log. The quest log is all, go here, find that, kill these many, bring back this many pelts, wash, rinse, repeat. The combat system itself is all shortcut bar based, and you sort of min-max that. So, and of course, when you're on a quest, there's an arrow on the map leading you there. And so all these features were put in to help make the games more accessible. But if you add them all together, it makes the experience fairly brain dead, we think. And if you go back to the older Ultimas that I developed long ago, you had to actually converse with NPCs by typing in full sentences to them, or at least keywords. And we're going back to that. And so you actually sit there, if you go to a bartender and you say, hello, my name is Lord British, what is your name? And by the way, what mead do you have on tap? He will go, hello, Lord British, and he'll remember that, not because my name was Lord British, but because I told him that. So each character in the game will remember whatever name you told them is your name. And they'll do that for all players. He'll then tell me his real name, he'll then tell me what they have on tap and sell me one.
So tell me about this system, because I believe there was a single player system in it and then a more persistent world where you play with others. Yeah,
and it's interesting. This came about because one of the problems of online games, at least for me, is you cannot play them offline. And I travel a lot, and I think, I'd love to be able to play my own game while I'm on an airplane. And the only way to do that is if the server is also in the machine alongside the client. And so the first decision we made was frankly just out of the desire for us to be able to play on an airplane. The side effect of that meant that not only could we play offline, but if 4 or 5 of us here were in a scene by ourselves, all 4 or 5 of our machines can in lockstep run the server code. And so we really don't need the home server to do any work to run the AIs or do any of the other maintenance of the scene. We only need it to validate things like gold transactions or deaths between players. And so we realized that meant that we could decrease the size of our servers at home by leveraging the player cloud. And what that let us do is get the cost of operations down so low we didn't even have to have a subscription fee. So it's a pay once, play the game forever game. In addition, that let us do things like play not only single player offline, but also MMO-like fully open online. But you can play solo player online. So when you're online, you get all the updates, everybody building houses or selling things in shops or buying things from your vendor. Or you can play in a mode where you see only people you know, only your friends. Or you can play where you see everybody that's in the world. And so it's an interesting blend all the way from solo player all the way up to massively multiplayer.
Wow. I tried reading about it. You just did a far better job of explaining how this all comes together.
Yeah.
One last question for you. It's been, roughly 2 years since you funded on Kickstarter, setting the all-time record. Was it 6.5 million?
Yeah, well, sadly, it wasn't well, I guess on Kickstarter it might have been right at the top, but we're actually the second highest crowdfunded game of all time. Star Citizen actually is totally kicking it, but we're still number 2.
In those 2 years, what have you done, and in what state is the game at now? And I know that's a big, loaded question, but I'm just curious, if someone jumped into it right now, what can they expect?
Well, I think we're at a very exciting time in the project now because we're only about 6 months from completion. And so all the main game systems are in, combat, crafting, magic, buying, selling houses, trading, all that's present. It's not all completely fleshed out, and it's definitely not all balanced, but it's all at least present. And that means we're in kind of the polish mode, the crank out the maps mode, and doing what we discuss as the Lord British features. The things like making sure the astronomy directly relates to the lunar rifts, the crafting system, the harvesting and availability of resources, and even the plot line is affected by the numerology in the stars, and the movements of the sun and the moon and the planets and the stars field itself. When we're working on things like weather and seasonality and how that also affects the game, and putting in the final version of the main plot now is finally going in. So I think it's a pretty exciting time to get in, and it's not that many months now, close to the end of the year, when we'll have it out.
Are you guys still taking crowdfunding, or how would somebody get into this game?
Yeah, in fact, either on our website, shroudoftheavatar.com, or on Steam, for $45, you can buy the game, and with that comes early access. And so you can just jump in right now and come join us and play. Or if you happen to be here at E3, just sign up. We'll send you a free weekend invite.
Thank you so much for your time. And you guys, be sure to check out our partner channel on RPG for more information and updates on crowdsourced games, just like Shroud of the Avatar. We do a monthly update there called the Kickstarter Kick Tracker Report, and we got really the coolest games are being crowdfunded right now. You want to be in the know on what's going on if you want to be playing the best games. Thanks again for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.